We all know if you weigh in supposedly at 12 p.m., it's going to be 2 p.m. before you're out of there.
Yeah,
and you're afraid to eat and drink.
And then you can miss like 3 meals already and, and 2 liters of water.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you don't have to peak twice. Because what people don't understand, you're not just peaking for the stage, you're also peaking for the weigh-in.
True.
And peaking for the weigh-in can be very drastic if you have to lose 5 pounds.
If you have to lose so much, it is.
And then it's you see it with some competitors. It's impossible to get back.
I've heard crazy stories.
No, I've done crazy protocols with my clients. You know,
because some people ask me like, "How do you deal with the weight limit?" I'm like, "How do you look so big?"
What weight limit? I'm 1 kilo under.
Yeah, or how do you make weight? I'm like, I don't even have any trouble at all because I wake up, eat my breakfast, drink my water, I get dressed, and as I am in that situation, I weigh myself and I'm still 3 pounds under. Yeah. That was at the Arnold, Ohio. So I'm like, no stress at all. Yeah. But if you do stress about this and you look at your physique and you're like, maybe with 5 more pounds or 6 more pounds, I would be on the top. But you already struggle with your weight and you're super conditioned. Are you then the perfect classic guy, or should you think about something else?
We saw that with Brian, right? I mean, he had to lose muscle to make weight.
Yeah, at first.
And then now, with the weight cap increasing last year, and then he stepped on stage, he was 4th at the Mr. Olympia.
Yeah, amazing.
Stellar. I told Chris Cormier, his coach, right, who helps him with the peaking and stuff, and the training and the posing, said, I mean, the one who who benefited the most from the weight increase was, Brian Ansley.
Yeah. That height, those height ranges, those got the most pounds added.
Yeah.
Because for me, it was 2 pounds, 900 grams.
Oh.
So yeah, but people tell me, oh, that's nothing. But it's for me like those 1 or 2 meals I can have in the morning before weigh-in that allows me not to have to fast. I can be hydrated. I feel good during the weigh-in, and that creates a so much different look afterwards.
Agreed.
Than if you have to fast, because we all know if you weigh in supposedly at 12 p.m., it's going to be 2 p.m. before you're out of there.
Yeah,
and you're afraid to eat and drink.
And then you can miss like 3 meals already and 2 liters of water.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you don't have to peak twice. Because what people don't understand, you're not just peaking for the stage, you're also peaking for the weigh-in.
True.
And peaking for the weigh-in can be very drastic if you have to lose 5 pounds.
If you have to lose so much, it is.
And then you see it with some competitors, it's impossible to get back.
I've heard crazy stories.
No, I've done crazy protocols with my clients, like sauna and diuretics and fasting for 3 days and then using herbal laxatives and then they make weight by 50 grams. Yeah. And then good luck trying to get back.
Yeah.
With the bodybuilder classes, if they compete 3 days later, you have some time to load them back. But for classic, it's usually the next day.
True.
Or 2 days later.
If you're lucky. Yeah. Usually it's 1 day in between or the next day after the weigh-in.
Yeah.
Like the Olympia is the only show I've ever experienced where it was 2 days in between.
Yeah.
So
that's usually enough.
Yeah.
That's usually enough.
That's enough.
But you don't have to peak for the weigh-in because you're underweight.
I'm maintaining until the weigh-in basically. I usually change my vegetables to a very low fiber.
Yeah.
And make sure that I don't hold any useless weight. So all the intestinal weight is basically down to a minimum.
Right.
So a little fiber and
protein, a little bit of carbs to keep it going.
Yeah, exactly. Like the carbs are very low. Protein it will remain high because it's also created a diuretic effect a little bit, diuresis from the protein. So I keep that running until the weigh-in, and then afterwards we can normally I actually already start loading on the day of the weigh-in. Right. Like the first 2 meals are already loading meals.
That's the best thing ever. Yeah, you go to the weigh-in with your Tupperware full with a big bowl of oatmeal, whatever you're loading with, and everybody's there just emaciated faces, dehydrated, just came out of the sauna and took injectable diuretics, and they're like looking at you already defeated.
Yeah.
Because you're just having fun with it.
Yeah. That level of not having that stress makes such a big difference. And trust me, that I've had the stress before because we had to weigh in at 10 p.m. at night, and that was the day before. So what do you do?
That was during the pandemic time, right? When you had to go to
right before
Mexico.
It was actually Romania. Before in 2019, I think. But what happened then? My height was measured a lot taller, so I was actually allowed to weigh 116 kilos. So I had no trouble at all. So I starved myself for no reason. But that's the thing. Now, at least, most of the heights are fixed already for most of the athletes. Everybody who did the Arnold, Ohio, those heights are fixed. So they won't be heighted in anymore. They have a set weight. So for me as well. So now I know exactly, okay, this is my weight. That's just it. I'm not going to do any funky stuff to make myself taller anymore.
Yeah, no more stretching inversion tables or...
Yeah, but that also adds a stress level. That used to add, like, what if I'm below my height? I mean, then you're messed up.
Yeah, you're 4 kilos or 5 pounds less or something like that. Yeah.
So you can't do anything anymore then.
Or you got to stand on your toes like somebody from France is doing.
Yeah.
With that very nice tall haircut.
There's some crazy stories about that as well. Like people wearing wigs or...
Yeah, at the amateur regs.
Yeah, even the pros.
Really?
Yeah. Because then you see them on Instagram like a few days before with like a shaved head. And then they come to the weigh-ins with like dreadlocks. I'm like, something is going on here. But nowadays, I have to say, most of the time, they don't measure on the top of your head, but they measure on the side. If you have like a weird hairstyle, they're like, okay, now we're just going to guesstimate. And it's usually not in your favor because they go, okay, where do I think your head...
You can't see where the head starts.
So they always go a little lower to be sure if they're the honest people who are measuring. But you can't say that for every show because every time is different. But most of the time nowadays, I have to say it goes... pretty, honestly.
Yeah, and it gets, because of social media, like things get documented. We saw it a couple, or last year somewhere where one of the competitors was just standing on their toes.
Yeah.
And, or had a crazy hairstyle, and it just gets documented right away.
Yeah.
And then you get the drama, and then next time you're 1 pound or 1 inch shorter, which that's much of a difference.
True.
And then they don't look as good.
Yeah.
So, I think with the Mr. Olympia, that's not something you have to worry about, but it's usually with these international shows where you have different, different judges, different officials.
It's still like the international, even though it's a small show, it's still a qualifier for the Olympia. So that's why, like 2 years ago, where there were more than 60 guys on stage, I would say like at least half of those guys, they really didn't have to be there, to be honest.
No, what they try to do with bikini is you have to win 2 shows.
Okay,
I don't think that really works because there were still 50 athletes, And I can't do the Mr. Olympia only because it's invite only because it's a qualification system, right? You win a show, you're the best of the best, so you can get to go to the Olympia. But there's so many classic shows, so many bikini shows, so many men's physique shows. Yeah. So I guess you just have to weed it out. Well, you're a big name now, so you don't get weeded out, but you still like the prejudging is going to be lengthy.
I think that one of the years they even wanted to do a crazy system. Like even though like 60 people would be qualified, right? So 60 people go to Olympia, but then they had a pre-Olympia prejudging to already eliminate half of them before even going to the real show. Even though you're qualified, but they weed out the low quality physiques basically, which in my opinion could be a good idea if you want the Olympia to be taken as serious as possible. Only the top athletes.
You just quarter turns.
Yeah, just quarter turns. You go on stage, you show your physique. Okay, there's such a big discrepancy between you and the rest. I'm sorry, it's no use for you to do this.
Or glazed abs or fat lower back. I mean, it's in the back double or even back relaxed. You can already see that.
But I think they didn't go through with it because at one, then they don't get the experience of the Olympia as they are kind of promised within the qualification.
That's true.
With the qualification, you're promised, okay, you're going to the prejudging and the actual expo with an actual audience and the whole vibe around it. So it would be unfair, I guess. So you would have to make up something before even the qualification occurs, how we're going to fix this. But yeah, it's still...
But not all athletes get a booth at the meet and greet, right? Or everybody gets it?
I think,
I know. I visited you in Rome and Fritz.
They did.
Because I know you personally. So.
But it was a huge hall. I mean, multiple halls of people.
Yeah, Florida was huge.
Yeah.
It was a huge hall,
everybody even you're obligated to go.
Yeah.
So you don't have a choice. So if you don't go, it's going to cost you in some way.
Yeah.
But then still some people don't show up because they didn't show up at all because they are qualified, but for some reason they didn't go to Las Vegas or to the Olympia, so they're not doing the show at all. So you always have some, like 5% will always be empty tables.
Yeah.
And but the rest, usually everybody is there. So yeah, it's...
I think the line this year at your booth is going to be great because I waited 5 minutes, I think, last year to Mr. Olympia for you. Got a nice shirt. We had a good talk. Yeah. And then I had to go around Chris Bumstead's line. Oh. It was all the way to the end. It was all the way to the end.
The funny thing is, like my line wasn't as big, but it was because everybody who was with Chris Bumstead, they go to him first, and then they see the rest. Yeah. And then they come to me or Urs or... But that was indeed before the Arnold Classic. But at the Arnold, Ohio, before I won, I already had a decent line, but I wasn't constantly talking with people. So I had a little bit of break here and there, but at the Arnold UK, or their line...
Yeah, of course, I can imagine, because that's fresh off a win.
Yeah, that was fresh off a win. The line was, as I always say, infinite. So
infinite line,
it doesn't matter how long I would be standing there. There would be no end. That's the first time in my life we had to, like Marley, my girlfriend, she's very good at that. She had to break up the line and say, okay, this is the last person. I'm sorry, we got to go. Because we were there for 1.5 hours, 1.5 to 2 hours, which is... You're supposed to be there at least for that amount of time. And afterwards, you can stay longer if you want, but you're not obligated to anymore. Right. So my coach was there as well. He said, we got to check your shape now. We got to get some food in because that show, the next day was the show already. So I didn't really
this is before the show, right? Yeah. This is the downside of the Expo. I would like it if there was one day after the show. So you have an Expo day on the day of the show and the day after.
That was Ohio. But like at Ohio, you had 1 day before, or 2 days, 1 or 2 days before you have the meet and greet for only people with specific tickets to go there.
Tickets,
and then the day of the show, you have the Expo, and the day after, and the day after that again. So because my show was Friday, but the open guys had it on Saturday. Yeah. And then Sunday was another Expo day.
So that's good because then after that, all the competing is done. You can rehydrate, or you can stay at the booth for like 4 to 6 hours if you want to.
I did that. So that was great. That was, like you say, that's been my wish always. Yeah. Why not, when I'm off of stage, not having to worry about meal timing, anything, why not do the Expo then? Because all the athletes want to be there, but before the show, you don't want to risk anything. So
maybe it's better because then the day after the show, you can't eat so much food. You just stay there drinking, rehydrating, and you're full with energy because you just had a good showing, right? True. And then instead of going to the ice cream buffet, you're just talking to fans,
let's just say,
supporters and stuff.
My booth is usually at ESN, so the only thing I ate was protein shakes, protein bars. So lots of protein.
That's all right.
Yeah, but that's fine.
Better than ice cream and going to the Cheesecake Factory.
Which we've done also a few times.
Of course. Yeah, that's mandatory, when you go to Vegas. Yeah. I'm very excited this year.